It's dangerous like Drake's Passage.
Greetings.
All of my haters going the wrong way. Deep
Good
in their
morning,
heart,
ladies
they
and
know they
gentlemen.
jealous of me. I got them running from me like a tidal wave. All the Zeus hate came out of nowhere. I'm talking next level, take another stare. Talking about me like I really care. I air you haters out, leave you on a chair. What you say is make believe, sipping on that fake tea. Talking kinda crazy when you on that fake tea. Now it's time to take it back, you know I'm your favorite. Look at who I came with, all you haters hating. All you haters is hating because you're on that fake tea. Yeah, stuff, man, ain't good for you. You know it. We know it. I'ma make them suffer, they surprise. All of my haters is sipping fake tea. I'ma make them suffer, they surprise. All of my haters is sipping fake tea.
Greetings.
Somebody needs to tell them that it's stepped on. They thinking they the Jetsons, but they Flintstones.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the Thunderdome.
About to make them hang it up like it was a phone. No dial tone, send them straight to voicemail.
All right, let's get this show started. Happy Friday. You know exactly why we are here. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, here we go. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. It's going to be a nice, light Friday. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need to go too hard. You know what we came to do. All right. Y'all get back to, go finish traveling and get back to where you left, all right, if that's what you're doing, all right? Clickbait, and your point? Hey, bro, it's over, seriously. Don't worry about President Biden. Don't worry about the so-called unemployment rate. You should really be focused on Donald Trump and his legal cases, all right?
I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it, look at my grass. Cars in the garage, tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we
Let's go!
Supposed to happen when you get famous. The algorithm turns you to a maniac.
Yeah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Oh, you know exactly why we are here. They don't get replies if they text me. Got a lot of confidence and I'm conceited. Call me the master with a new whip. I'ma take off in a spaceship. Here it goes.
I've gone into Zeus's house a couple of days. Shit was radical.
It was.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
Let's go.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
It's like deja vu.
It's like deja vu.
All right, ladies. All right, let's go ahead, DJ. Go ahead and kill the music. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Thunderdome. Welcome to the show. I am your host. I am your pilot, and you know exactly why we are here. But before we get started, let's take care of some housekeeping items. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H, all right? And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I'm honest, all right? The second H is because I'm humble. And the last and final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because, you guessed it, I am the most handsome. Echo, Zeus. You hear an echo? I don't hear an echo. I don't hear an echo. Does anyone else hear an echo? What's up, Mr. Incognito? Does anyone else hear an echo? I'm just double checking before I continue. I don't know what it is. No echo. All right. So nobody hears an echo. Mr. Incognito, you might gotta swipe out and then come back in. All right. Now, many of you know what we do over here on this side of TikTok. All right. On this side of town. What we do is very, very special. We hold our friends on the right, especially their cult leader, Donald Trump, accountable for their dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds as well as their crimes. But as of late, we are also having to have tough conversations with our fellow Democrats as well in terms of where they stand in support of President Biden and Kamala Harris, all right? And so along those lines, I got some bad news for you Trump supporters, all right? If you are one of these Trump supporters out here that you hate the truth, or as my good friend Brother Swerve and likes to say, you're lactose intolerant, right? You might want to leave this live and go hang out with these fake TikTok hosts that'll lie to you because, they do what they do over there. But over here, we got to tell the truth, all right? And when we start telling the truth over here, it's going to get very, very uncomfortable. You know what? I got to start doing. Someone told me, my good friend, they said, Zeus, you got to start putting trigger warnings on your lives because you never know when Zeus is going to go somewhere and it's going to get really uncomfortable. So I also got to say this, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes in covering the truth, it might get a little challenging. So there is a trigger warning in the show. Buckle up, all right? But like I always say, if you don't like the live and you're uncomfortable with this amount of truth coming at you, do me a huge favor. Leave this live and go on about your miserable, miserable morning, all right? Because it's going to get uncomfortable, I promise you. But I know what it is, though. A lot of you don't believe me. So I say it like this. You don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country.
Good morning, Tara.
If you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy
Tiffany
in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
That's right. That's right. Lady Rima, thank you so much. All right. So if you're not happy here, you can leave. All right. All right. Like I said, we're going to try to keep the show nice and light today. All right. Because some of us got other things to do. But let's get through some of our talking points. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is I think Morning Joe started off really on a good note with President Joe Biden, all right? And he's pointing out how Donald Trump is scared to death and his aides are hiding him after the debate. This is interesting, right? After taking most of the week off, MSNBC's Joe Scarborough returned to Morning Joe on Friday. Hold on. Okay, he returned. Immediately noted Trump's lack of public appearances since the CNN debate over a week ago. Where is Donald Trump? Why hasn't he been holding any of his rallies? MAGA, do you know where Donald Trump is? I would really like to know. Last I saw him, he was golfing. Okay. Speaking with fellow MSNBC host Reverend Al Sharpton, the Morning Joe host frontman stated the former president's inner circle is leery of putting him on the stump over fears he will go on his crazy rants, which will then undercut their attacks on President Joe Biden after his poor debate performance. Pointing out to Al Sharpton that Trump has not received a huge bump in the polls after the debate, he stated, independents actually broke away from Donald Trump towards Joe Biden. That's how much they were turned off by seeing this guy. To the independents out there that broke away from Donald Trump and went to Biden, you deserve this. All right, and this is what I said. You just got to let the truth do what it does. You got to let the truth sink in. Clickbait, this is for you. Listen up, Clickbait.
No doubt, he's got a great record. There's no doubt about it. And you can go through it and compare that record domestically, legislatively, foreign policy-wise to anybody else's. And certainly all of the numbers far surpass what Donald Trump did over those 4 years.
And to the Trump supporters that are out here, this is the same network that you've been going around saying they say Biden should step down on. So it's the same network. So it's the same quality, all right? So you can't say it's misinformation, all right?
I got to say really quick, just have to stop right here and just say one of the most remarkable things I've seen in all the polling. And the White House was trying to tell me this the night of the debate, in shock, while they were in shock. They said, well, the dial group showed that independents really broke away from Donald Trump. They said, are they spinning me? Are they not spinning me? So on the New York Times yesterday, incredible. Biden lost 2-3 points in most polls. But independents actually broke away from Donald Trump toward Joe Biden.
Does anybody have any idea why the independents, you know who I'm talking about, those who never was following politics and they looked at the debates, does anyone have any clue why they left Donald Trump and said, you know what, I actually feel safer with Joe Biden? Anyone have a clue? Think about that.
How much they were turned off by seeing this guy. And you'll notice, too, for all the talk about Joe Biden being hidden and 8 o'clock and all of this other stuff, you notice Donald Trump has kept his head underground politically since this debate. Like, his staff is scared to death of having their old man go out and say crazy things to get him out on stages. They know that when Donald Trump goes out, he forgets whether we've had World War II or not. He forgets who the current president of the United States is.
Right.
He thinks he's run against Barack Obama and beaten him. He thinks he's running against Barack Obama again. And sometimes he tries to get to the end of the sentence and he just sort of kind of goes off into left field, into the pasture. So again, they're hiding Donald Trump right now. They don't want Donald Trump to get behind a microphone because the less he says, the safer they believe they are. So, Reverend Al, another thing.
The less Donald Trump says, the safer the MAGA Republicans think they are. Oh my, there's trouble in paradise. Clickbait. You see how you ended up falling in the ditch? You know, you thought you were putting a hole for Joe Biden to jump in, but guess who ended up jumping in it? Clickbait. And all you other so-called Trump supporters, you know, they call themselves ultimate MAGA. You jumped in the ditch. And now it's been exposed that it's really Donald Trump hiding after all. And it's been exposed that independents are actually moving towards Joe Biden. Go figure. Could it be because they saw Donald Trump get on the stage in front of millions and millions of Americans and lie the entire time? When he lied about his encounter with Stormy Daniels, that's when I said, okay, that's it. Everybody knows you did it, and you're going to get up here and gaslight the American people. You know what, Donald Trump? We're not as silly as your cult followers are, all right? And with that, ladies and gentlemen, you know exactly what we must do. I got some triggered Trump supporters in my chat right now that are struggling to understand why President Joe Biden will get reelected. So maybe this will help them. Join me in giving Donald Trump and his deranged supporters what they deserve. Our first honorable round of boos and shame. Yeah.
You MAGA demon!
I promised you it's going to get uncomfortable in here. And you know, you stayed here, entered at your own risk. And so that, you know what? I don't really care how it makes you feel at this point. You can keep crying in the chat. All right, Zeus, please stop making Donald Trump look so bad. But I'm not going to stop. No, it gets worse. It gets worse for you MAGA demons out there. All right, listen, I got some more bad news. Like, I was having an exchange in the text messages on TikTok the other day. Actually, it was yesterday. And one of these MAGA demons, all right, they told me Donald Trump is going to get almost 40% of the black vote. Does anyone out there believe Donald Trump is really going to get 40% of the black vote? All right. Please raise your hand if you believe, put a yes in the chat if you believe Donald Trump is going to get 40% of the black vote. Oh, we got some real heroes out here. Wow. Let me see this. Oh, Donald, come on up here. Donald, you really believe that, champ? Donald, where are you calling from, Donald?
Texas.
Oh, shout out to Texas. Ooh. Can I ask you a serious question, Donald? Seriously.
Sure.
Where did you get all that intel that 40% of black folks are going to vote for Donald Trump? Where did you hear that from? Because you're repeating what this other MAGA demon repeated, and I'm starting to think maybe there is something to this.
Well, you know what, Zeus?
What?
I have a question for you.
No,
on your debate, when Biden had his debate, and did he lie at all, you think?
Huh? Did President Biden lie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He told a couple of he misrepresented the facts a few times.
He's not too bright, is he?
Oh, no, that's where you went wrong.
Why did Joe have to say, come on, you answered all the questions right, Joe.
Right, but
some cookies.
Okay, Donald. I know. Is it too early for you? Because
No,
You
it
went
ain't yours to me,
completely.
Zeus. You know why?
You went completely off topic. Number one, Donald
No,
Trump
because
told
you know
more
what?
lies.
You always try to
Number
run, you
one,
try to manipulate people, and I don't
Donald.
let people do me that way.
Okay, how do you want to
You're
be?
just like you think you're a bully, but you
Okay,
know
how do
what?
you want to be done? How
You
do
know,
you want to be done? How do
I
you
want
want
to
to be
get with
done,
you.
Donald?
I want to get with you November 5th when you're going to be crying when Trump's your next president. And I want to see what you got to say then. What are you going to say when Trump's your next president?
Woo, Donald! It's
Tell
too
me.
early, Donald. It's
Tell
too
me, bro.
early,
Tell me.
bro.
What are
Bro,
you
come
going to do
on
when
now,
Trump's your next
Donald.
president?
Donald.
What are you going
Donald.
to do when Trump's your next president?
I
That's all I want to
wanted.
know.
Okay, I'll answer it, but I need
Okay.
you to answer the initial question. Where did you get the data that says Trump is getting 40% of black votes? Could you
Look at all
cite
the,
the source?
huh? The
Could you
polls.
cite
Look
the
at the
source?
polls.
The polls. Which
Yeah.
poll? Which poll, bro?
All the ones that they post on
Truth.
CNN,
Okay. Would you
MSNBC,
happen
Fox
to have that
News.
poll on you? Would you
Nah.
happen? Did you happen to have it in there so you can put it up on the
No, I
screen?
don't. I
Oh,
don't.
okay, so
I
I
don't have
can't
it
give
on
you
me.
any points for that. I can't give you any points for that.
Okay.
But I'll say this: between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, who do you think told the most lies during the debate? Please be honest.
Oh, Biden.
Oh, see, Donald, I gotta
I'm
do you,
telling the
ladies
truth.
and gentlemen. Let's give Donald what he deserves. Not only is he lying about the liar, but he's also being completely disingenuous at the same time. Let's give Donald what he deserves. A round of boos and shame. Bye, Donald. Wow,
Silence!
ladies and gentlemen.
MAGA demon!
Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with me. I really was just trying to go easy today. It's the day after Independence Day, and I'm not really trying to get into it with you Trump supporters, all right? But listen, y'all got to start telling the truth, all right? The answer to the question, Donald, is guess who? Donald Trump told more lies than Joe Biden on the debate night, all right? Go look up the stats, all right? The same CNN that you were talking about, right? They actually said Donald Trump told over 30 lies, all right? Joe Biden, 9. Okay, and I would argue Joe Biden, his stutter got in the way and he may have misrepresented the facts. But Donald Trump was deliberately lying. Okay, so Donald, you're flat out wrong. But I'll say this, Donald, if you can go get a screenshot of those poll numbers that talks about black people wanting to support Donald Trump, go ahead and let me know you got it, and I'll bring you right back up here. I want to call this out. Black voters are furious over recent calls for President Joe Biden to step away from the 2024 campaign. A conservative, get this, a conservative went on CNN and told CNN this. Apparently, this conservative must have been coming into Zeus's lives and understands we really do mean business when we say we support Joe Biden. Commentator, all right, sure, Michael Singleton, y'all got to go look at this MAGA demon. He's on the wrong side, by the way. Made the discovery when he threw his support behind calls for Biden to step aside on Sirius XM Urban View, the African American talk radio channel on which he says he is the only conservative. He says, I think he should step down and Vice President Kamala Harris should carry forward, Singleton said. They did not want to hear it. Let's listen to what he said, ladies and gentlemen. To Donald and to all the clickbaits out there, listen up, all right?
Well, you brought up this idea of Biden stepping aside, and I think that's a really important data point to understand how, everyday Americans are viewing this, despite what we see in the polls and so forth. Tell us about that.
So I'm on Sirius XM Urban View. It's the only African American channel on Sirius XM. Everyone knows on that channel that I'm the lone black conservative there, and I made the case to my audience, hey, I think the president should step down based upon what we saw. And I listened to my audience, all African Americans, and I said, I think he should step down and Vice President Harris should carry forward. Every single person that called into my show, Pamela, they did not think Vice President Harris could win it, not because they didn't support her, but as many of them often said, we don't think this country would elect a black woman. And so most of them said, we're going to stand behind President Biden. We don't want him to get out of the race. And I said, well, look at the polls. Look at what people are saying. What about members of Congress? They did not want to hear it. And so if you're President Biden, or you're advising President Biden, one of his most, I guess, ardent core constituencies, they're behind him. They're not backing down. And I listened to dozens and dozens of people call into my show. So many, my producer said, we can't take any more callers. Because that's how angry they were with me, possibly raising the idea that he should step down and be replaced by someone else. They said, no, we don't want Trump. We want Biden. Even if he has some episodes here and there, they didn't really care. They thought he was a better option.
Bingo. Bingo, bingo. We don't want Trump. We want Biden. That's what a lot of black people were saying on this conservative radio station. So for this conservative to go on to CNN and make this point, I think it's crystal clear, ladies and gentlemen, that the support for President Biden couldn't be stronger. To you Trump supporters that are out here thinking the Democrats aren't united, I got some bad news for you. What you got going on right now is a united front on so many different platforms. This was on a Republican platform. He had to come on CNN and say, you better think twice. And now we understand why Donald Trump is sitting quiet, golfing and saying things, because he's terrified. He knows the support for President Biden is there. He knows he got caught lying on national television. Pew Research, 77% Biden, 18% Trump. Look at that. There you go. There you go. It's far from 40%, all right? And I hope that's about the blacks that are supporting Donald Trump, right? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, because the black support for President Biden is as strong as it was, actually it's a little stronger, and you got Trump supporters out here lying and saying it's not. Now that we have a MAGA person coming on CNN and confirming that the support is actually as strong as we've been saying it was, join me in giving these Trump supporters what they deserve. Another round of, you guessed it, boos and shame.
You MAGA demon!
All right. So let's move on to why we should really put our heads down and support President Biden. All right, because we got to address it. All right, what we don't want to do is ignore things, okay, that are actually happening out here in the real world. All right, okay, here it goes. All right, so. What I want to encourage everyone to do is to trust Joe Biden to defeat Donald J. Trump. And this is an interesting article, and I felt like, you know what? Let's get it out there. Many of us watched the Biden-Trump debate in horror like millions, all right? And here was a slick con man with a national bullhorn, all right, without fact-checking, next to a decent man who told the truth because who told the truth but can't get his words out. Even Republicans, ladies and gentlemen, hold on, okay, there he goes. Even Republicans know Trump's performance last week was a firehouse of lies. But after the fact checking, it's just background noise, irrelevant to all but political junkies who know who we are. Trump's base also knows he's a serial liar, which they consider a feature, not a bug, right? What are you going to do with that? The sad reality is the fact versus lies and the grave geopolitical risks facing us have now been upstaged by Biden's pauses, weak voice, and halting delivery, all of which seems to confirm supporters' fears about Biden's age. He's 81 and fitness for serving out a second term when he'd be 86. Why, oh, why didn't Biden open with, folks, this is what they're saying President Biden should have said. Folks, I have a cold. Bear with me. My voice is a little rough, but we'll get through it. Instead, his voice gravely and barely audible, he bumbled even though most facts were on his side. Biden, far more forceful at a North Carolina rally right after the debate, freely admitted that he stumbled. I don't debate as well as I used to, he said. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong, he says. Doozy. Hey, Doozy, you think this is funny? All right, well, keep on laughing. You know what they say, right? The same thing that'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry. All right, Doozy? So just keep on laughing, all right? I got something funny for you, all right? Biden style, rather than the substance delivered by either Biden or Trump, has nevertheless dominated headlines. Too many Democrats are now calling for Biden to leave the race without considering that Vice President Kamala Harris often polls worse than Biden, and picking someone else to top the 2024 Democratic presidential ticket would alienate black, young, and many female voters. and rightly so. As I see it, if Biden demurs, Harris must either forcefully decline her candidacy, forcefully enough that her supporters will believe she's doing it of her own volition, or if she's ready to run and inside data show her path to victory. Biden should resign the presidency now so that she has 4 months as an incumbent. How about this? Here's a better option. President Biden quadruples down. He marches towards the presidency in a fashion even Donald Trump, who himself faced Republican calls to step down after his infamous Access Hollywood debacle in October of 2016, couldn't match. Remember that? That's when he was engaging in those crimes, by the way, the ones that he got convicted of in New York. He lives the line of the poem once quoted to a friend: rage, rage against the dying of the light. What Biden has done in office in nearly 4 years counts far, far more than a bad 90-minute debate. As Harris said in her post-debate interview, I got the point that you're making about 1.5 hour debate tonight. I'm talking about 3.5 years of performance in work that has been done that is historic. And she is right. If this is a contest on the merits, on substance, President Biden wins hands down. The whole debate cringe fest was a Fox News fantasy come to life. A lot of people cried for their country. Probably did worse, took sleeping medication and went to bed. But you also got to realize that at this point, pundits are just echoing each other. No one really knows what the fallout will be or how the undecideds felt about the debate. All right? I have some shred of hope that Americans are smart enough to cut through the slick lies and bumbling truth and consider what both men actually said. But honestly, MAGA exists, and I gotta say this. MAGA exists because 30% believe violence and retribution are sexier than competency and policy every single time. I'm telling you, these folks are sick, ladies and gentlemen. As low information voters get juiced by hate, which stimulates the brain like an opioid. Hate is the brain's most powerful motivator, right up there with fear, which means hate-filled people tend to vote in higher numbers than complacent moderates. This very simply is why the most unintelligent 20% of the United States has been able to impose minority rule, supported by morbidly rich seeking to avoid regulations and taxes. It's also why Donald Trump keeps trashing our country and lying about crime. It's an opioid pump for his base. Darwin suggests we get real serious about real education real fast. The gaslighting got upstaged, but it was a masterclass. During the debate, Trump's gaslighting on foreign policy was astounding, even for Donald Trump. When Trump said the H group attacked Israel and Putin attacked Ukraine because Biden was weak, you should have been worried, because many voters won't think this thought all the way through. No one should need any spin. Putin himself has said his invasion goes back to the 17th century. Peter the Great and his personal power lust for restoring the Soviet Empire. The complexities of the Israel-Hamas conflict are even deeper. They far exceed Trump's cranial capacity going back decades, marginally beginning with the mustache man's atrocities. Israel's history exceeds most voters' attention span, including, to be quite honest, including mine. Biden has walked the tightrope, empathizing with suffering on both the Israeli and Palestinian side. He has forcefully denounced and criticized Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's cruelty and immediately denounced the naked brutality of the H group. No one alive could do a better job navigating Israel's scorching complexity. Suffering Palestinians deserve all the aid, support, and compassion they are getting. far more. Student protesters on the left are right in that regard, but they are wrong in failing to understand that if Biden cut off support to Israel, Trump would collect tens of millions of dollars in donations overnight and storm back into the White House, taking power, and few people would ever hear or care about the Palestinian suffering ever again. Listen, those who worked with Trump are warning us. Trump's mendacity was unprecedented in the United States history. Even before the Supreme Court ruled he was above the law. The damage he has already done caused will linger for decades. His offenses are too numerous to list, including nominating Supreme Court justices who helped the federal right to abortion. All right? Adding $8 trillion to the deficit, lavishing billionaires with tax cuts, selling the climate to big oil, blah, 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 blah. You already know what Donald Trump has done, right? Biden is running for re-election, not to stay out of prison or to engage in retribution, but to save America from Donald Trump and his army of sycophants addicted to power. Let's just be honest. These people are dangerous. During his awful debate performance, Biden managed to reference, albeit softly, the national study conducted by the University of Houston and the Coastal Carolina University rated Donald Trump as the worst president in United States history. Don't trust your own instincts after the debate. Just let that sink in. Not enough? Consider that Trump's closest military and domestic advisors have warned us how dangerous it would be to return him to power. While most Trump toadies are too afraid of Trump to disagree with him, even these statements are on the record. These statements are on the record, and you can go look them up. Vice President Mike Pence. The American people deserve to know that President Trump asked me to put him over my oath to the Constitution. Anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. That's what Mike Pence said. Bill Barr, someone who engaged in that kind of bullying about a process that is fundamental to our system and to our self-government, shouldn't be anywhere near the Oval Office. His Secretary of Defense, James Mattis, Donald Trump is the first president in my lifetime who does not try to unite the American people, does not even pretend to try. Instead, he tries to divide us. All right. Mark Esper, I think he's unfit for office. He puts himself before the country. His actions are all about him and not about the country. And then, of course, I believe he has integrity and character issues as well. That's what Mark Esper says. Mark Milley, General Mark Milley. We don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator. We take an oath to the Constitution, and we take an oath to the idea that that America, all right, that this is America, and we're willing to die to protect it. His first Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson. Trump's understanding of global events, his understanding of global history, his understanding of United States history was really limited. It's really hard to have a conversation with someone who doesn't even understand the concept for why we are even talking about this. Dozens of other professionals who worked alongside Donald Trump until they realized what he really was have issued similar dire warnings. Listen up, America. Biden may not be physically or mentally robust as he was in his 20s or 30s. All right. But I will take this old man over a con man any day of the week because Biden is a better man. Always has been, always will be. And he still has time to prove to America that he's the right choice, and he is this November. I'll close with Robert De Niro's words because guess what? We really can't top them. And this is what he wrote in an email. And I want you all to listen to this. Over the years, this is what Robert De Niro had to say. Over the years, I have played my share of vicious, low-life characters. I've spent a lot of time studying really bad men. I've examined their characteristics, their mannerisms, and the utter banality of their cruelty. This is somebody who's really studied bad people and portrayed them. Donald Trump is a wannabe tough guy with zero morals or ethics who will do whatever he can to obtain power. As an actor, I could never play him. There is no shred of humanity to hang on to. I strongly support Joe Biden. He's a lifelong public servant with a great personal integrity. I trust him completely to run the country. He puts you first. Donald Trump only cares about himself. All right, I know that was a long piece to get through, and we're going to attribute that to Sabrina Hawk. All right, she is a columnist and 25-year litigator specializing in First and 14th Amendment defense. It was a great article. Please go read it. But you know what we got to do, ladies and gentlemen? The case has already been laid out between the two people who you should vote for. If you really care about this country, you really have no choice but to vote for President Biden. Unless Biden himself says, I can't do it. Then I get it. Let's open up the floodgates. But if he has not said that, you can't go around here talking about any of this third party stuff. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to do like this. Oops, you know where I'm going to put you over here with MAGA? Because there's a couple of ways Donald Trump can get in. Either you vote for him directly, or you go do this third party stuff and indirectly vote for him and basically open up the back door and say, go ahead, get in there. I didn't get the candidate I wanted, so I'm just going to go ahead and force everyone to put up with this con man, this snake oil salesman, because I'm not getting my way. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a betrayal to this country. All right? And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do. Join me in giving everyone, especially MAGA, what they deserve. Another round of boos and shame. And this is because you keep bashing Joe Biden. I know, you keep bashing Joe Biden.
Silence!
You keep bashing Joe Biden. Hold on. You keep bashing Joe Biden, and you don't got any smoke for the man that got up there and lied. See, that's the problem I have. You keep bashing a person, an old man like Joe Biden. This man, you shouldn't even be doing this to people who are your elders and seniors, all right? You're supposed to actually show some respect to him. But you got no problem. Oh, he looks too old. But what about the 30+ lies Donald Trump told? When we're gonna have a whole conversation about that? I would love to see the media do that. You won't do that though. Yeah. Clickbait, I see you out there. I got some folks triggered in the chat right now. I told you, trigger warning in here, all right? I told you it's going to be a trigger warning. All right, but get this, ladies and gentlemen. I see people complaining there's dissension in my comment section. Maybe you didn't catch this part of the show.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
And I do mean that. One of the things, hello Gretch, nice to see you. One of the things that you all know I'm really big on is I don't allow MAGA to be victims around me at all, because look at all the harm that they've caused this country, right? I mean, these folks will, even to this day, get on TikTok, refuse to answer simple questions because they're falling in line with their cult leader, Donald Trump, and try to gaslight you to death. It's not going to work with Zeus, all right? As far as I'm concerned, you Trump supporters are the harassers and the abusers. Case closed. All right. Now we'll cover one more topic and then we'll get into January 6th. All right. This is just a call out. All right. Trump cannot resist attacking the meanest and most vicious George Stephanopoulos of head of a pivotal Biden interview. All right. And this, we all know George Stephanopoulos is going to be interviewing President Biden today. All right. This is going to be big. The ratings are about to go through the roof once again. All right. And Donald Trump is obviously scared, while Democrats are literally in disarray over how to handle the sudden political crisis born from Joe Biden's debate debacle a week ago. Former President Donald Trump could not resist making a series of insults towards his political rival, Vice President Kamala Harris, and of course, ABC News anchor George Stephanopoulos. All right. He wrote, the meanest and most vicious interviewer out there is George Stephanopoulos of fake NBC News, or fake news ABC, one of the worst and most vile broadcasters in the business. In fact, the home of disgraced reporter Brian Ross, whose reporting on the Russia hoax was so outlandish that ABC, after defending him at levels not seen before, was forced to put him and their reputation out to pasture. Now ABC and Little George, he calls him Little George, a tiny angry man, can make up for their past indiscretions and journalistic failures by doing a real interview with Crooked Joe, not a cut-up promotion with only his few coherent answers released to the public. Let the world know why Joe directed and allowed his Department of Injustice and others to illegally attack his political opponent, me. Nothing like this has ever happened in our country before. Also, ask why he used all Soros prosecutors, and in particular, a loser like deranged Jack Smith. The proof is irrefutable. Crooked Joe is a coward. MAGA 2024. How many of you guys believe this nonsense? As anchors of ABC Sunday show this week, Stephanopoulos has been unwavering in his grilling of Trump surrogates and warning of the degradation of the bedrock tenets of American democracy brought about by a second Trump administration. He is also a former campaign and White House aide to President Bill Clinton, which is regularly most cited part of his resume by conservative critics insisting that he's biased. The truth is, Stephanopoulos enjoys a well-earned reputation for being a tough and fair journalist. The crucial interview is set to be taped today, all right, and we understand that there are plans to release bits and pieces of it later today, this afternoon, with the full interview airing Sunday morning. I just want to call this part out. Now, Donald Trump says, this is what he says, Joe Biden, let the world know, okay, why you allowed your Department of Injustice and others to illegally attack his political opponent, me. Can somebody let Donald Trump know that Joe Biden has presidential immunity? Can anyone let Donald Trump know that? Because the Supreme Court just ruled as long as it's an official act, it's okay, right? And so Donald Trump, you know what happens, right? You know what happened, Donald Trump? You make your bed, you got to lay in it, all right? And so with that being said, I am so happy that President Joe Biden, according to Donald Trump, used his Department of, is it Injustice or Justice? Who cares, right? To go ahead and hold Donald Trump accountable. So guess what? What we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving Donald Trump the biggest crybaby on the planet, right? Donald Trump's the biggest crybaby. I've never seen a grown man cry like this. Isn't that right? He gets on his social media. Even when you gave him the power to be president, he's the most powerful person on the earth. He still managed to find a way to cry all the time, right? Join me in giving this crybaby what he deserves, because he cried for presidential immunity and he got it. And now he's still crying because guess what? It backfired on him. Now we have King President Biden and he has to deal with it. Let's give him some booze and shame. Let's go! I keep telling you, I didn't really want to go too hard today. It's Friday, and I'm trying to just kind of just cruise through this show and get on to what I was going to do, all right? But we must carry the cross and tell the truth, all right? I see there's some dissension in the chat, all right? So before I cover January 6th, once again...
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country... If you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. All right, now it's time to talk January 6th, all right? Before I go any further, I really just want to do a temperature check real quickly. Is there anybody out there that still believes Donald Trump's claims about the 2020 election?
It's a rigged election. It's the only way we're going to lose.
Anyone out there still believe Donald Trump's claims that the 2020 election was rigged? And by the way, Donald, Please go ahead. Donald, if you're still there, please bring me that information about 40% of black people voting for Donald Trump. Clickbait, do you have that information? Clickbait, 40% of blacks are voting for Donald Trump. Please bring the graph. Oh, I got somebody. Oh, user, come on up, user. User, come on up. Come on up, champ. Come on up, user. Come on up here and explain why you still believe Donald Trump's claim that the 2020 election was rigged. Please, user, listen, you get a minute or two to get it out. All right, and I will let you say what you need to say, and then I'll drop you back in the chat. All right, listen, let me ask this question a different way. Let me ask the question a different way, because maybe this is a little too complicated for you Trump supporters to get what I'm trying to get at. Does anybody out there still believe Nancy Pelosi is responsible for the attack on the Capitol on January 6th? How about I ask it that way? Does anyone still believe it was the FBI or BLM that attacked the Capitol? Okay. She said it. Okay. Let's see who we have. I can't do. You don't have enough. You don't have an. I see someone. Ed Mack, my brother. Come on up here, Ed Mack. Ed Mack, come on up here. Ed Mack, come on up here. Ed Mack. We got somebody. Oh, Kathy. How about this, Kathy? Okay, Kathy, can I talk to you, Kathy? Can I ask you a quick question, Kathy? Come on up here. Kathy, can any one of you? Don't worry, you're safe here. This is a safe space for right now. I've put the wild animals away for a quick second to allow you to come up here and get it out. All right. Old news, drop it, Kathy. Kathy, I sent you an invitation, Kathy. Come on up here, Kathy. All right, Kathy. Thank goodness, Kathy, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Ed, what is going on, my brother?
What's up, bro?
What's good? So, you believe Donald Trump's claims about January 6th, correct?
Correct.
All right. Could you articulate it for us in about a minute or 2 minutes, right? Tell us why.
Man, I can't really articulate it, really. I mean, I just saw it. I mean, I saw his speech, and they walked down there, and they did what they did. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just what it was.
So when you
And
say
then
that,
but then didn't Nancy Pelosi come out and say she was responsible, or no? Or was she talking about something else? I'm not sure. Was she talking about something else?
I mean, this is your opportunity to make the case, right? Because what I'm going to end up doing is explaining to the rest of everyone here
Okay.
how Donald Trump is actually the one really responsible, and why Donald Trump didn't get reelected. But in order for me to know how deep to go into the story, or that I want to know what parts you're confused with, right? What parts are you still kind of struggling to process on your end, if I could put it that way?
Oh, that's no problem. I'm let's say the inciting part is the part I'm confused about.
About how
Ins-
Trump incited the violence?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's a good point. What else?
Uh,
Are you confused about him losing the election at all? Do you think he really lost?
Well, that probably is probably the most confusing of it all. I mean, I don't have you can't trust Democrats. You can't trust any information that came out about that. I mean, you
I mean,
know,
that's a strong statement. Now, I wouldn't say you can't trust Democrats, but I believe that there are things that may have happened that might give you a cause for concern, but maybe it wasn't enough of it to actually change the results, right? That's kind of the way that I look at it. But again,
okay.
I'm trying to really get inside of the minds of a lot of folks out here who are still believing Donald Trump's lies, right? And then help them understand why Donald Trump lost the election and why he is also responsible for the attack on the Capitol. All right.
All right, go ahead. Let me hear that.
Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Ed Mack. All right, Ed Mack, I'm gonna let you get into the chat. All right, go back into the chat, Ed Mack. But thank you for coming up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Ed Mack a round of applause. He was brave. He was brave, and I really do believe where he's at. All right, but Ed, I'm gonna tell you what really happened. All right, Ed, this graph right above my head. Don't let these Trump supporters confuse you. All right, this is the unemployment during the time Donald Trump was in office, and this is when the pandemic was happening. Now, Ed, what ended up happening was Donald Trump, he disbanded Barack Obama's pandemic response team. He didn't backfill the position in the CDC that was in China that helped put him in a that would help him to really respond to the pandemic the way that he should or could have been able to. So what ended up happening was the country was a hot mess. Unemployment was through the roof, and guess what? We had Donald Trump saying stuff like this.
The virus that we're talking about having to do, a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat. I think that's a problem that's going to go away. When you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero. It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear. You have to be calm. It'll go away. It will go away. Just stay calm. It's going to go away. It's going to go away.
It never went away. That was the lie, the one of the big lies he told. And while this was happening, the unemployment rate was going through the roof. All right, the stock market was spiraling down. Gas prices, they were plummeting. Gas prices actually got so low it was costing the oil companies to have to hold on to the gas. He had to start printing money. So the writing was on the wall that Donald Trump was a terrible leader. When disaster came, he failed. And he lied to the American people. All right? So that's the catalyst for why he wasn't going to get reelected. So let's get into what started to happen. Donald Trump panicked, right? He panicked. And what happened when Donald Trump panics? He engages in schemes. Can you say schemes, MAGA? Say schemes. All right? What is a scheme Donald Trump engaged in? How about this one? All right, it's this one.
I want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
Right? That's the fake elector scheme, right? All right, that involved him pressuring state officials in Georgia, all right, to go ahead and find him votes he didn't have, all right? All right, but then he engaged in another scheme, all right? After the results of the election came in, and it was clear Joe Biden was the winner. Ed, I hope you're still there. Donald Trump, he didn't concede. Instead, he came out and he did this. Hold on. This is what he did. Hold on.
We had such a big night. You just take a look at all of these states that we've won tonight, and then you take a look at the kind of margins that we've won them by. And all of a sudden, it's not like we're up 12 votes and we have 60% left. We won states, and all of a sudden, I said, what happened to the election? It's off. And we have all these announcers saying, what happened? And then they said, oh, because you know what happened? They knew they couldn't win. So they said, let's go to court. And did I predict this, Newt? Did I say this? I've been saying this from the day I heard they were going to send out tens of millions of ballots. I said exactly, because either they were going to win, or if they didn't win, they'll take us to court. So Florida was a tremendous victory.
So you hear what he did, right? He didn't concede. He's casting doubt in the minds of his supporters that the votes were fraudulent, right? But then he does this Houdini magic trick, and MAGA hates it when I play this. All right, Ed, I hope you're still there. But I'm going to play it for you because this is the most critical part of the scheme.
76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
And see that part right there, Ed? Think about it, right? Think about your favorite sports team. Imagine your team lost, right? And then the coach comes out and does exactly the same thing. Gets you to doubt the score is really what the score says it is, and then says, you know what, we were getting ready to win. Frankly, we did win. And then all of a sudden the scoreboard changes and your team wins. You've never seen anything like that, right? Donald Trump knew he could get away with it when he talked to his supporters, because his supporters believe everything that he says. So now that his supporters, all right, believe that they won and they believe that the election was stolen, what does Donald Trump decide to do? Well, he moves further and further into the scheme. Can you say scheme, MAGA? All right, and this is the next scheme that he begins with, all right? And I kid you not, all right, I kid you not, this is what he did. Hold on one second, all right? I got to find it, all right? I want to make sure we cover this correctly. All right, here it is. Hold on. All right, here it is. Here it is. This is what he does. Attention! This is what he says to his supporters. He takes on the role as the modern day Jefferson Davis, all right? And his supporters are his new Confederate army. And he goes, listen, I lost to Joe Biden and I'm very angry. I need all of my soldiers to send me the money they got, and that would make me very happy. But then get this, I am hosting an event called Stop the Steal. Not Nancy Pelosi, not BLM, no. Me, Donald Trump. I'm hosting an event called Stop the Steal in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. It's going to be a big protest. Be there, will be wild. What do you think his soldiers thought of when he said, what? An opportunity to be wet and wild with Dad? It's an offer I can't refuse. Right? And so they began to figure out how they could all meet up with their dad on January 6th in Washington, D.C. All right? So you all know how they ended up trying to get there, at least some of them, right? They said, well, how are we going to get there when our dad just took all of our money? Well, look at that right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's the U-Haul. That is $20 a day, unlimited miles. And they said, you know what? Why don't we cram ourselves in the back of this big U-Haul and head on over to Washington, D.C., all right, to meet up with our cult leader, Donald Trump. All right, now who was in the back of this U-Haul? Great question. Great question. Let me show you who was in the back of that U-Haul for those of you who are confused. Who is this right here? You guessed it. The Patriot Front, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the Boogaloo Boys, the white supremacists. Yeah, crammed in the back of these U-Hauls heading to Washington, D.C. to meet up with their cult leader and commander-in-chief, Donald J. Trump. So what happens when they get to Washington, D.C.? Well, you know it. They ran into Lieutenant Marjorie Trader Green. And we all know who she is, right? Look at those shoes. Many of us suspect she's the pipe bomber. And what did Marjorie Trader Green tell these soldiers to do?
If we flood the Capitol building, flood all the government buildings, go inside. These are public buildings. We own them. We own these buildings. Do you understand that? We own the buildings and we pay all the people that work in the building. Finished with our meetings here at the White House this afternoon. We had a great planning session for our January 6th objection. We aren't going to let this election be stolen by Joe Biden and the Democrats. President Trump won by a landslide. Call your House reps, call your senators from your states. We've got to make sure they're on board. We already have a lot of people engaged.
So she's telling the Trump supporters that made it to Washington, D.C. to wait for your commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, to give you your orders to begin attacking the United States Capitol. Right? Now all they got to do is wait for Donald Trump to give them those orders. So let's take a moment to go to the White House, all right, and see what Donald Trump was up to, all right? So we're at the White House, ladies and gentlemen, and Donald Trump is having a meeting with you-know-who, this guy, Mike Pence. He walks into the office, Pence, buddy old pal. I got everything in motion. I got the fake elector scheme. Can you say scheme, MAGA? MAGA, say scheme with me. I got the fake elector scheme. Mike Pence. Right? I got my soldiers waiting for you at the ellipse. Mike Pence. All I need you to do is that thing you and I talked about. Don't you dare certify those votes for Joe Biden. What did Mike Pence do? He grew a little spine and he stood up to the President of the United States and said, Mr. President, unfortunately, I can't do that. Because in order for me to do that, that would require me to place you above the United States Constitution. A document that our founding fathers and the framers fought and bled for. A document that even to this day, Americans continue to fight and bleed for. And frankly, I don't think anyone asking me to do such a thing is fit to be president of these United States. Donald Trump's his jaw literally hit the floor. He was flustered. He leans into Mike Pence, his breath smelling like Big Macs and Diet Coke, and he says, "You know what your problem is, Mike Pence? You're a little too honest." And he called him the nasty P word. The same P word you Christians heard him using in that Access Hollywood tape. And he says, "You know what, Pence? I'll take care of this myself. Security! Take me to the ellipse to meet up with my troops." Secret Service, they said, "Mr. President, with all due respect, these people are armed to the T. All right? They got military grade equipment. They got stun things that'll electrocute you, all right? They got pepper spray, all right? They got metal whips and chains. They got a lot of dangerous weapons, Mr. President. We don't think it's safe for you to go there. As a matter of fact, they got this thing called demon spray." He goes, "What's demon spray?" "Oh, well, they take the bear spray with the wasp spray and the pepper spray, right? And they put a little orange coloring in it, right? And they shake it up and they say a little bit of a prayer over it or whatever, injecting the demon in it. And all of a sudden, when they spray you with it, you get possessed with the MAGA demon." Donald Trump goes, "What? They really got that?" They said, "Yes, Mr. President, please don't go there." He goes, "As dangerous as that is, it doesn't matter because they're not bringing any of that there to cause me any harm. Take me to meet up with my troops." Secret Service says, "Yes, Mr. President, we'll take you to go meet up with your troops." All right? So they take him to the ellipse, ladies and gentlemen, and we all remember this moment in American history. We will never live this moment down. When he got on stage with that black trench coat and those leather gloves. Leather gloves! Where have we seen leather gloves in American history, ladies and gentlemen? You know what I'm talking about, OJ. When I saw this, I said, this cannot end well. We are about to witness a nasty crime scene. This is about to be a nasty crime scene, and this man is going to be behind it. Look at the sign. Stand with Trump. It doesn't say stand with Pelosi. It says stand with Trump. These are his supporters. And what did Donald Trump do when he got on the ellipse? He encouraged his soldiers to engage in heinous acts of violence.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
Bear with me, folks. I know a lot of you get upset when...
Hey, NBC News.
I know it makes a lot of us upset to hear this man's voice. But bear with me because we have to make sure his supporters understand that we know he was at the scene of the crime. Not just him, there were several others. And many of you go, well, he said peacefully and patriotically. That wasn't in the minds of his supporters that day. That wasn't in the mind of his soldiers. How do you get dressed up, armed to go to war, right? Because this is what they did. And then you latch on to the words peacefully? No, these folks were ready. All right, and I have to emphasize that these folks were ready to do some serious damage to the United States. That's why I call them domestic terrorists. Think about what they were hearing that day.
And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
So, let's have trial by combat.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's death involved.
So, let's have trial by combat.
And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
I think we know what was on the minds of his supporters that day. We don't even need to belabor the issue. We know exactly what was on their minds that day. And ladies and gentlemen, this is when they began to march upon the United States Capitol with the intent to cause as much harm as they could in an effort to keep this man in power. All right? So, speaking of marching to the Capitol, there was a moment, all right, there's a moment that we all must go back and revisit, all right? How many of you know who this is? Anyone know who this is? This is Ashley Babbitt, ladies and gentlemen, one of Donald Trump's foot soldiers. And you could tell that she had been radicalized, just became 7. Thank you for the subscription. You could tell Ashley Babbitt had became radicalized by Donald Trump and the right-wing media. Just listen to how she was sounding.
District, why don't you worry about your own goddamn district and the shit that's going on there? You are a complete, I'm telling you right now, I'm putting all you on notice. Every single one of you politicians in California, Gavin Newsom, Jerry Brown, Maxine Waters, Duncan Hunter, what the hell is Kamala? Where is Kamala? Talking about ISIS like KKK. We got this modern Karen. You know what? We have thousands of people on the other side of the border. If people can't get to work, our economy is going to take an absolute tank because you guys refuse to choose America over your stupid political party. Capital and the mob, there's an estimated over 3 million people here today. So despite what the media tells you, boots on ground definitely say something different. There is a sea of nothing but red, white, and blue patriots in Trump.
A sea of nothing but red, white, and blue patriots for Trump. She's literally confirming that it's Trump supporters at the crime scene. Yes, this is one of Donald Trump's foot soldiers. A woman he should have protected, right? Many of you know exactly what happened to Ashley Babbitt, right? We all remember this moment as well, all right? Trigger warning, all right? Listen, this is the moment that Ashley Babbitt lost her life in the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. You all remember that moment, right? And you all know what happened next. Ashley Babbitt lost her life in the battlefield for Donald Trump. She laid her life down for Donald Trump. And she did it because she believed his big lie. She believed the election was rigged. She believed that it was stolen. All right? She believed that Donald Trump would march down to the Capitol with her. Right? And when she lost her life in the battlefield for Donald Trump, this is what makes me so upset. What did Donald Trump do when he lost one of his foot soldiers because of his big lie? Does anybody know what Donald Trump did?
Information that stands out to me is that Donald Trump was passed a note after one of the rioters was shot in the Capitol and was made clear that this person had been shot, this woman had been shot in the chest. And the valet says that he offered no reaction upon learning that. He kept sitting in the chair watching the violence unfurl on TV.
A non-reaction at the death of Ashley Babbitt.
he had no reaction. You mean to tell me that for 187 minutes that this Capitol was being assaulted by his supporters, and in the midst of this, you had officers that were losing their life. You had one of his soldiers that had lost her life. This man had no words? This, ladies and gentlemen, is the crime scene of January 6th that millions of us witnessed and watched on national television. This was not a peaceful protest like BLM. This was not a tourist visit that had gone awry. This was a crime scene planned and executed by Donald Trump and his inner circle all the way down to his foot soldiers. Nancy Pelosi had nothing to do with this. You can try to bring up that whole National Guard nonsense all you want to. Here's the thing. You wouldn't have needed the National Guard if Donald Trump would have simply told the truth, which is he lost to Joe Biden and never tried to hold a rally after the result of the election had already been counted and confirmed. What the heck are you doing a rally for? The election's over. See, and this is what millions of us have to deal with, right? A lot of you don't want to deal with the reality that this January 6th thing was a domestic terrorist attack, all right, on this country. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. I said, you know what? For the most of my life, I've always thought being a racist is probably the worst thing a person could be, right? Being a racist is a terrible, disgusting thing. But you know what's worse than being a racist? I'm going to say it. When you're a traitor. You got people in this country that are racist and a traitor. Disgusting, evil people, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's focus on the latest update, all right? We got another J6er, so-called patriot, that's been brought to justice. Let me update you on this so-called patriot soldier of Donald Trump's that has been brought to justice. A Tallahassee man has been charged in January 6th insurrection, all right? Has been sentenced to 3 years in federal prison, all right? Let's talk about him, okay? And this is for his role in January 6th. Raymond Joseph Collard, 54, was sentenced Tuesday to 40 months imprisonment, followed by 3 years of supervised release. He pled guilty in February to felony count of assaulting, resisting, impeding certain officers, according to news releases. The FBI arrested him in November of 2023 in Miami, making him one of thousands who are facing consequences for their participation in the infamous Capitol takeover riot. In the 41 months since the January 6th attack, more than 1,450 individuals have been charged in nearly all 50 states for crimes related to the breach of the United States Capitol, including more than 500 individuals charged with assaulting or impeding law enforcement, a felony. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know I went over my time, but guess what? I'm worked up right now. You know what we got to do? Join me in giving this seditionist, treasonous traitor what he deserves.
Silence, you MAGA demon!
All right? And since he wants to be a soldier in Donald Trump's Confederate army so bad, let's send him off the old-fashioned way.
I'd like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
You hear that? You hear that, MAGA? When are you going to wake up and realize that Donald Trump is playing you all like a fiddle? You do understand that he's playing you like a fiddle and that you're all in his circus, right, MAGA? You do understand that, right? See, I got some folks out there that don't get it, and I got to explain to them why it's a circus. MAGA, Donald Trump is going to go down in American, actually, the world history as the most successful ringmaster to ever walk the face of this earth. Because what he's done to you all is by far the most impressive thing I've ever seen. A bunch of adults walking around here wearing these red hats that show how ignorant they really are. And you know it's a circus because look at what he does. He does exactly what a clown does. A clown wakes up every day and puts on makeup, right? This guy does the same thing. He wakes up, puts on that orange makeup. Ooh, don't I look so good? Right? A clown wears a wig. Look at what he does. He puts that bird's nest smack dab right there on his cranium, right? Just like a clown. Okay, what else does a clown? You ever seen a clown that got that thing around its waist? Yeah, in that ridiculous suit. This guy does the same thing. He puts on that dirty diaper, all right? And he puts on this crumpled blue suit with that ridiculous red tie. And he gets on social media and gives you all your daily orders, all right? Everything he says, you literally repeat to us every day. And this is what I got to tell you, Trump supporters. I already know you get all of your news from this guy. I follow him on Truth Social too. I see what he's telling you. That's why I know what to say when I get up here. It's not that hard to understand that you're all being deceived. And not just me, a lot of us are looking at what he's saying to all of you and going, how the heck do you all buy this crap? And you do buy it. All right. How do you know? How do I know? Well, look at it. Think about it like this, MAGA. And I had to think about it too. I said, it really is a circus because look at this, the golden shoes. You don't need golden shoes anywhere in your real life except for in his circus. You don't need those NFTs anywhere except for in his circus. You don't need Trump bucks anywhere except for in his circus. All right? They're useless anywhere else. And probably, actually, the Trump bucks are useless in his circus. All right? You don't need Trump steaks. You don't need a Trump university. You don't need Trump stocks anywhere except in his circus. MAGA. When are you going to wake up and realize he's playing you like a fiddle and you're all in a cult? All right, ladies and gentlemen, and this is my final message before I open up the boxes. To all of you Trump supporters, I promise you this. If you do not get out of the cult, you will end up getting the ultimate MAGA reward, right? Many of you are asking, and they still ask me, they say, Zeus, what is the ultimate MAGA reward? The ultimate MAGA reward is jail, prison, and if you don't get your soul right, hell, with a chapter 11 in between. And I promise you, every single one of you Trump supporters are getting a first-class ticket straight to hell. All right? And you're going to be there with this man. All right? Because you chose to ignore the truth and instead worship him. All right? So, listen to Big Zeus when I tell you this. Get out of the cult right now, or else hell will be your portion. Now, many people say, Zeus, you shouldn't be so harsh on MAGA. You know, you should have a little bit of a heart. And I said, I can't be nice to them because the stakes are just way too high. I just want to make sure I get this on record. I have no problem doing this work that I'm doing on TikTok, which is helping Trump supporters get out of the cult. And then for the ones that love being in it, sending them straight to hell where they belong. I have no problem doing it. I'm not losing any sleep. All right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the monologue. Let's open up the boxes. Let's open up the boxes and hear from those of you who are brave enough to get in the box and tell the truth. All right? It's like my grandma always says, tell the truth and shame the devil. And I hope, was it Ed that got in my box? that said he still believed Donald Trump's claims about the election being rigged and he believed Nancy Pelosi was still responsible, please send me a guest request, all right? I want to make sure we have a follow up to that and see if there's anything that I left out that might have helped. That might help going forward me reach other people who might still be confused about what happened on January 6th. All right. And by the way, this is not an opportunity to get up here and air your grievances with Zeus, all right? Because I promise you, I'm really not going to entertain it. This is an opportunity for you to be heard, get your voice out here to the American people, and speak on these matters before people go out here and vote. Because I really do believe that if people know more, they will make the right decision before they go and vote, all right? And one last thing, I see there is still some dissension in my chat. For those of you that are in the chat right now, and maybe you didn't hear this at the top of the show because you don't like how I'm running my live.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. Let's get to it. All right, let's bring up the first panelist, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, who do we got? All right. Who do we have this time? Tiffany speaks.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good.
All righty then. All right. What brings you to the show this bright and early, if you don't mind?
It's almost surprising to me. I know there are a few people that we have to go over this with, but recently I saw two different things that were very interesting. One was of Steve Bannon discussing with a group of people the night before what Trump was going to do for the 2020 election and how he was going to claim that, laughing, just like sitting around discussing his entire plan.
Right.
That's circulating around. And then Roger Stone's video with actually him in it at Mar-a-Lago discussing what their plans are to do this time around.
Right.
And, I'm quite certain that everybody knows exactly what Trump did. And I think people need to think about something. It takes, I know it's hard, it takes a little critical thinking skills, but you look at Project 2025 and the type of life that sets up for your children, especially daughters. Come on, people. Horrid. I don't know. I put my kids before myself. And this whole vote for me is about their future. I'm 50 years old, but when I look at my kids, I want them to have the freedoms and the joy and happiness that I had as a kid growing up. And it also, talks in the Bible about false prophets. And for all you fake Christians claiming that Trump is some kind of Christian or you should know, if you know the Bible, about false prophets and exactly what Trump is doing.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest sins in the Bible, if you're a Christian, what Trump's doing.
Yeah, they love to put a spin on the things that are meant to be good, right? So that they can manipulate people and take advantage of them. Isn't that interesting that they have that strange demonic ability?
And I don't know if they can't imagine what it looks like as an outsider looking at them, wanting somebody so bad who's proven in every way, shape, or form that they are unfit for that office. Imagine voting for somebody who, by scholars, has placed him last. His numbers were bad. Our farmers were going out of business. Our oil companies were going bankrupt and out of business. Just everything that a president stands for. Uniting a country. Like when Biden speaks, he speaks to all of us, not the Democrats. To me, that is craziness.
Yeah.
That you go for somebody that in every way checks the worst box possible. I don't know if you have this false belief that he's going to bring something to the table all of a sudden and become a great president or what you want, but you got to sometimes a good predictor of how do they say that? A good predictor of the present or future is past behavior.
Correct. That's I know what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like they're not learning from the past, and they say history, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat yourself, kind of thing, right?
Yes, exactly. And I would challenge everybody that's on it seemed like there were quite a few, maybe some were bots in the chat today.
We got bots in here, MAGA bots.
Yeah, MAGA bots. I mean, I'm not really sure. I didn't look at each one of them, but if you are in here and you haven't read Project 2025, you need to go read that and think about your kids' future, your wife's, your sister's, whatever. It's, taking away a lot of what we are used to. And I don't think people have the ability sometimes to think about what that would look like. And also,
tell them, Tiffany, tell them, go for it.
They don't believe, because last time it didn't happen, but that's where Trump did his little, groundwork for what they were going to do for the future. And I don't believe that Trump's going to win. Actually, there was this guy that came on a live the next morning, and he was part of the LGBTQ community, new baby, 2 months old, and he was crying because his parents, who were big MAGA, big Trump supporters, they decided to vote for Biden because they said that there was things in that debate that they knew happened that Trump literally sat up there and lied about, but he didn't bring anything to the table of what he was going to do.
Right.
And they just saw, keep letting Trump talk. He ruins it for himself. So anyway,
I agree. I completely agree. All right. And you did an excellent job, Tiffany, coming up here. I know you've been trying to get up here for the past few days, but you don't have
Zeus, I have patience.
You do. And you're very humble like Zeus. So I really, really appreciate that. All right.
I appreciate you too. And I appreciate you getting up here every day. I was a little frustrated at first with the people that bashed Biden, but I think there was some fear going on with people. And I tried to think about that over a day or two. I think, like Mishi and a couple other people, I think they were concerned of maybe support, but Biden didn't lose any support. If anything, he gained some support.
We're gonna make it through this, all right? And I'm glad it happened. And I'm glad it happened right now before we actually go and vote, because it's really making people focus on what's the real issue here. And the threat to our democracy is way more important than Biden's age.
It is. It's so much more important. And everybody, I do think Biden's gotten a little bit older, but he's still sharp. He still knows this. He still knows what's going on. And something that I don't know if everybody caught was Trump talking about that being Putin's dream.
Yeah. I remember that part. And recently, Putin also said he's okay with Donald Trump's plan with Ukraine. Donald Trump hasn't explained what the plan is, but Putin says, yeah, I think that me and Donald Trump could work this out, which to me is another sign of how dangerous Donald Trump really is. What the heck are you already talking to Putin for?
Exactly. And people, I think some people think that's a good thing. It's not when the person is easily sold out. It's not good for us. It's completely, he would sell all of us out. Oh my goodness. Okay, Zeus.
All right.
I don't want to go off on a tangent on that, but you have a great day. Thank you again for everything you do and standing up for all of us and being a voice.
You're welcome. And as always, come on back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the beautiful Tiffany a round of applause. See, no lies have been detected. You see how we do this show, MAGA? People get up here from all parts of the world, all parts of the country, and they tell the truth and shame the devil. Like I said earlier, independents didn't move away from Joe Biden. They got closer. MAGA, the end is here, all right? It's over, MAGA. It really is. All right. Let's go. Knowledge, greetings. How are you doing? Good morning, Knowledge. Welcome to the show. How are you doing, champ?
I'm doing okay. How are you this morning, Zeus?
I'm all right. This is our first time doing business, right?
Absolutely. I spoke with you on another chat there a couple of days ago, and I said hello.
Okay.
But on your platform, this will be my first time.
Okay. And, are you,
yeah.
you? I don't remember, but you're going to vote for who?
Oh, absolutely. Biden. Absolutely.
Hey, Moo, my friend Moo the Tuxedo Cat. Again, I really want you to be here and listen to all these folks coming in saying they're supporting President Biden, because you can go back and tell Young Turks this, all right? Young Turks doesn't
Absolutely.
understand what's going on, really, all right? They're in some bubble somewhere else, all right? But sorry about that, Knowledge. Please continue.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to be very brief, and it just gets to me. I'm 66 years old, and
Okay.
I've seen a lot of elections, man. I've never seen anything like this at all. Not even quite like this. This is crazy. We got a grifter, a major grifter and con man trying to be president of the United States that doesn't know the first thing about any policy whatsoever. That's got these people duped into believing that he is their savior.
Yeah.
And when I peel it all back, as I said before, I'm old, and I peel that onion. It comes down to me at the core of that onion, Zeus. It's just one thing that keeps them dedicated to Donald Trump.
What is
And
it?
I'm sorry, and I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings, but I have to, and I will. It all peels down to preserving white supremacy. If these people get over their supremacy, want to be over top of everybody and want to share, this would be the perfect country. Share. Just
Yeah.
share the wealth.
You
It's
think so?
simple.
So wait a second. You believe that a lot of these Trump supporters are hooked on this concept of being white supremacists?
Absolutely. That's the core of it
But
all,
but
Zeus. I'm
but we
telling you.
got we got blacks out here wearing MAGA hats, advocating for Donald Trump. What do you say to
Yeah.
that?
What I say to that, Zeus, are those are the ones that have been bamboozled, they're brainwashed, and I can have a few other choice words for them, but I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't want to
That's
get
keep it
flagged.
clean. Keep it clean. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So these folks are confused. They're extreme, and we've had these all through our history of being here in the United States, even in Africa. You got the ones that want to be spies or turncoats or whatever. This is nothing new, Zeus. This is
Right.
nothing new.
Right.
So we're used to that. We know that anyone with an intelligent half of a mind knows that we're going to have these type of people that's going to stray from the flock. So we're going to let them go ahead and be on that side,
Yeah.
and they have to deal with their souls once they get to wherever they're going once
Amen.
they pass.
Yeah.
But the majority of us will not. And you hear this thing all the time. Oh, black people for Trump. That's a bunch of bull crap. We do not want to be slaves anymore. Who in any realm of reality want to go back to the 1800s when we have to be out there in the field picking cotton, doing this, doing that, while the other folks are sitting on the doggone porch drinking mint juleps and iced tea? No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're not doing it.
Thank
Not
you.
doing it.
Thank you. That's real spill. That's the truth. And you and I didn't coordinate offline for you to get up here and say that, right? That came straight from you.
That's straight from the heart.
Yeah,
Straight from
yeah,
the heart.
yeah. So
I don't
go
want
tell
to
Young Turks that, MAGA.
Absolutely.
Wherever you're getting your dirt on, wherever you're getting your little information from, go tell Young Turks that.
Yeah, just to let them know. You guys need to listen up. We're not having it anymore. We are ready. You guys, whatever you guys want to do, we're not having it. Make it a clean election. When the election is over and Donald Trump loses, go back to your small towns, get back into your cellars and with all your little guns and take a nap or whatever you want to do. Leave us alone.
Fair
We're
enough.
going to run this country.
Yeah, yeah. You're spot on, Knowledge. All right. Now, thank you. For having the courage and the conviction to be able to get up here and tell the truth like that, my brother. I really do appreciate it. All right.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give Knowledge a round of applause. Oh my goodness. Oh, I see somebody out there that's possessed with the devil right now, ladies and gentlemen. I see somebody out there possessed with the devil. Hold on. I don't like folks coming into my live and allowing the devil to use them. All right, hold on. Let me see. Oh yeah. Who is this? Proud Never Biden. Come on up here real quick. Proud Never. Come on up here. I can help you out with that demon real quick. Come on up here and let Zeus talk to you. Let me minister to your spirit and cast that demon out. All right. You came into my chat spewing hatred. Oh, not available. Proud Never Biden. No. It says you are available. Invitation sent. Bring your special behind up into this box so I can cast that demon out, all right? Now, we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. Which one you want to do? Proud Never Biden. How about this? You don't need to come in the box. How about we just do it the way I like to do it, where you let me do it from over here, if you know what I mean. Keep it clean. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send Proud Never Biden back to the pits of hell where they came from. Join me by giving them a round of boos and shame. I don't need you in the box. Hammer time!
Silence! You MAGA demon!
All right, now you get on out of here, all right, with that nonsense. All right, I don't want to see you in my chat again, all right? You were too afraid to come up here, but you know exactly what just happened. You got sent straight to the pits of hell. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring up my next guest, all right? My good friend Nutty, Professor Nutty, how are you doing, my good friend?
Well, hello there, sir. How are you?
Oh, another day, just on TikTok tending to the affairs of the
Yes, sir.
kingdom. How was your
Yes.
fourth?
My fourth was filled with volunteerism because I
Okay.
volunteer during this time of year.
Okay,
But
okay, okay. Fair
uh,
enough.
other than that, I'm taking the day off from my black job.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
yeah, so I just wanted to say a couple things, and this is to anyone who vote for Donald Trump. And it's not enough to say MAGA anymore because there's people that claim not to be MAGA, but they're still going to vote for Donald Trump. So whatever. I'm clumping you all into the same bubble, right?
Okay.
Y'all stupid. Y'all dumb. Because if you notice, they're the only ones advocating for the demolishment, the getting rid of the Department of Education. They want to rid of the Department of Education because they have no education. They are dumber than the feces that come out of your butthole.
That's
They
that's
are
that's
dumb.
nasty. That's
I
nasty.
don't care. Like Ange says, the gloves have been off. I am no longer nice.
Yes, he said
They,
black job. He
yeah,
said black
my black
job.
job. Exactly. So here's why they're dumb.
Why do they get offended? See, look at this. Now they are offended about black job, Nutty.
Well,
Go figure.
your fearless leader said that
Rick.
the illegals are coming over here taking black jobs and Mexican jobs. Like, what is a black job? So
Yeah.
therefore, I'm going to own it. I'm taking the day off my black job. So anyway, I just wanted to, just talk about the fact that y'all don't listen to what the man says. You don't listen to what he says.
Right, Ange?
You already heard about Project 2025, Agenda 47. We have been talking about this for the last year and a half, 2 years. It doesn't sink in. It doesn't sink in, and I'm not quite sure as to why it's not sinking in. Well, yes, I am. Let me stop
Why?
lying. It's not sinking in because you don't care. You are racist, you are bigots, you are misogynist, and you don't care about anything or anyone else except for your own bottom line. And like the prior guest just said, and your white supremacy.
Wow.
When it comes down to it, Zeus, when it comes down to it, what is all of this about? It's about maintaining white supremacy. He was 100% spot on. You are so dumb. You don't understand the fact that when he was at the ellipse, he said, "We're going to march down to the Capitol. I'll be with you." Except he let you go to jail for it.
Bingo.
You keep talking about how none of these people were part of an insurrection, but every single day, Zeus, that you get on this platform, what do? You tell us about one more person who was convicted. And 90% of these people, 90% of them, if not more, they plead guilty. That's admitting guilt. So whether or not the Supreme Court wants to come in and throw you a bone, you still pled guilty for breaking the law. That part will never change. You may escape prosecution because of the Supreme Court, but it still doesn't erase the fact that you admitted guilt
Tell him, Nutty.
for
Tell
breaking
him, Nutty.
the law.
Tell
You
him, Nutty.
don't care about the law because you pled guilty for breaking the law.
Exactly.
I mean, it really is that simple.
Isn't it sad that we still have to explain January 6th the way that we do? Right?
And that's yesterday when I was in your live, I came in and I wished a happy 4th to everyone who didn't try to overthrow the government.
Right.
Because it doesn't make sense for you insurrectionists to be up here celebrating Independence Day when you tried to take away the independence of millions of voters who voted for Joe Biden. And another fact, Zeus,
Talk to him,
another
man.
fact. They keep getting in these lives and
Mm-hmm.
talking about, well, there were no more wars. There were no wars under Donald J. Trump. There were no wars under Donald J. Trump. Y'all, do y'all realize that when Russia invaded Crimea and took over the Donbass region, that was going on during the Trump presidency as well?
Right.
So you want to get in here and talk about, because this invasion of Ukraine that happened a few years ago, that didn't just begin under Joe Biden. It has already been going on when they annexed Crimea and took over the Donbass region. So I need you all to understand. And Kimmy, you know what, baby girl, don't make me go AOC on you. Baby girl, Kimmy, you can blah, 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 blah on these, you know what.
Oh, nutty!
On my nutties. You can blah, 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 blah.
For educational purposes only.
No, yeah, I'm educating her where she can blah, blah, blah.
Lord have mercy.
See, that's education right there.
Lord have mercy. See, Kimmy, I need you to keep it clean out there. You didn't got nutty activated, all right? This is wild. Look at what MAGA does. They keep on doing nasty things like this to get people to get outside of their character. But you know what? It's going to be better, ladies and gentlemen. Listen,
Zeus, and I feel you, brother. But I just want to tell Kimmy, just make sure you suck them dry.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Wow. Woo. Y'all, it is too early. All right. Listen, Frank James, thank you for the subscription. Y'all, it is too early. Let's keep it clean, all right, and above the waist. Let's not, okay, because listen, I know a lot of you Trump supporters, y'all are allergic to the truth, like my good friend, Brother Swerve, says you're lactose intolerant. But I'm gonna need you all to come into the light, all right? Southern Delight, keep them in the chat. Southern Delight, keep them coming to the light. I need a Trump supporter to come up here and be honest about what's going on. Yes, the gloves are off, Mrs. Silk. Cortez. I saw your chat. I saw your comment in the chat, Cortez. Send Zeus a guest request, because what I want to make sure you understand is I don't need to do any gaslighting. All right? All I'm committed to doing is telling the truth. Now, if I tell you the truth, Cortez, and you feel gaslit, that's your thing. That's a personal issue, and you need to go work that out between you and whatever God you worship. All right? I have no reason to get out here and lie to you and your MAGA followers, your MAGA demons. All right, maybe you didn't hear me at the top of the show, Cortez. All right, let me remind you in Donald Trump's voice how I do what I do.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
You hear that, Cortez? If you're not happy here, go hang out with Snuggles. All right? He'll lie to you and take your money just like Donald Trump. You go hang out with him, all right? But if I were you, considering the situation you're in with your soul on the line, on your way straight to hell with gasoline draws on, you're heading to the lake of fire. If I were you, Cortez, I'd sit my special behind down and listen to this special broadcast, all right? Cortez, sit your special behind down and listen to this special broadcast. Let me bring up my next panelist, ladies and gentlemen, all right? This is an interesting name. Hump something. That's an interesting name. Who do we got this time, ladies and gentlemen? Hump something. What's that about? Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, okay. Oh, God. I can already tell. This is going to be an...
I know you checked Discord, didn't you?
So what's going on?
No, did you have a good fourth?
What?
Did you have a good fourth?
What are you talking about? Get straight to the meat and potatoes before I have to send you straight to the pits of hell. All right? What do
I
you
know
want to
you're gonna
cover?
get scared and boot me in 30 seconds. You don't last longer than that inside of a girl, a man, or inside of a lie for that matter. By
You
the
have
way,
listen. You have came up with the biggest, best insult any other MAGA demon tried. You have the best one so far. How did you come up with that? No, seriously,
unlike your lover, I can keep
seriously.
coming. I can keep
Oh
coming.
my God, ladies and gentlemen, we have a comedian. Wow, do you do stand up or something? Where are you getting all this content from, man? Seriously,
I don't know. I do have an account with over
okay,
130,000 followers with comedy.
okay,
So
okay.
anyway,
Gosh, I mean, I'm dying laughing over here, bro. That is some funny stuff. Okay,
I
so
know.
what's your issue? Seriously, what got you in the box today to come talk to Zeus? I mean,
I don't know.
a person as successful as you. What can I help you with?
You guys keep
Seriously.
talking about what are black jobs? I don't know how many different presidents have been bragging about black employment, but you guys magically forget about that.
Oh, so you're saying it's okay, right? Your thing is it's okay to talk about black jobs the way Donald Trump did, right?
Call them black jobs? Yeah, black employment equates black jobs, Einstein. It's
Okay,
simple
listen.
verbiage.
How do I apply to a black job?
You become employed and you be black. And congratulations, a black man is working.
Oh, okay.
It's a black job.
So you know what I got to do, right?
Yeah, you got to pivot or boot me, one of the two.
Well, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you. Number one, you're
You gonna
wrong.
mass report my account again?
You're wrong, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to help you out. Ladies and gentlemen, let me get that racist demon out of the box before things get nasty real fast. All right? First of all, you got to go look at what the facts are about that statement. All right? And according to Donald Trump's own surrogates, black jobs are low paying jobs, right? It's not any job. All right? It's the ones that he thinks are tied to low wages. And if you want to go back further, slavery. All right, so don't get in the box and start trying to lie to Zeus about what Donald Trump meant when he said black jobs. All right, and the fact that you won't bring your main account in here, you know what I said? I said that's typical MAGA demon behavior. That means you're really afraid to put your face behind those words. And with that, I can't take anything you say seriously. But one thing I do take seriously is the racism and the bigotry, all right? I know that's in you and it comes out naturally because you, sir, are possessed with the MAGA demon. And you know I got to do you like I do every single MAGA demon that gets in my box. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending that deranged, racist, bigotry, MAGA-filled demon straight to the pits of hell. Let's send him straight to the pits of hell. And he thought he was a comedian.
Silence! You MAGA demon!
To all the Trump supporters, listen, I've been doing this for a while. All your little clever insults, they don't work on me. I've heard them all. And I know the best you can do is you got a third grade brain power. Some third graders are actually more intelligent than a lot of you. But a lot of you only got like a third grade education. And your cleverest jokes still turn out to be quite silly at the end of the day. Silly and ridiculous. Especially when you can't turn on your camera. So another L for MAGA. And one last thing, sir. I forgot to remind you. You too are on your way to hell with Donald Trump with gasoline draws on. Yes, you are on the train, the Trump train, heading straight to the lake of fire. No pit stops. You're going to get off and they're going to, boom, kick you in your rear end right into that lake of fire where you're going to burn for the rest of eternity unless you get your soul right. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, these Trump supporters, they haven't been doing the work to get their souls fixed, all right? And this is what's the most dangerous and disgusting thing that we got going on in this country. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring up our next panelist. Good morning, Takesha. How are you doing? Somebody has to keep it clean out here. Someone does. Let's go. How are you doing, Takesha?
Let me say this before I get started on what I came up for. I'm so thankful that we don't have to have a funny bone in order to live. Because some family would have been sick, sad, slow walking with black on next Saturday burying him. Because nothing he said was funny at all.
Not a
I'm
little.
still waiting to laugh. Where's the
Not.
jokes?
He was saying something about 30 seconds. He said Zeus, he can I don't know what he was trying to say. I mean, I don't know.
I'm
All
still waiting to
right.
laugh, Zeus. It wasn't funny. Their comedy is really ridiculous. There's nothing funny about what he said. He really could have stayed in the comments or wherever he was because he's still not. The only thing is funny is how he's going to be coming from the comments instead of the box. That's what's funny.
Tell him,
But check this
Takesha.
out, Zeus. Check this out. I'm disappointed in our Democratic leaders who are saying negative things about Joe Biden.
Speak on it.
Because what they're doing is making him lose his confidence. They're making him second guess himself. They're making him feel like he's got something to prove. What they should have done, if they were displeased with the debate and how his performance was, they could have gone to him. They have access to him, Zeus. They
Yeah.
didn't have to come out in public forums and talk about their disappointment of Joe Biden. You don't do that when you're supporting someone, when you're trying to get your candidate in. You don't go and give the ops something to talk about. And that in turn makes the person you're supporting, it makes them second guess themselves. This has done nothing but kill the morale of President Biden, and I don't like it.
Isn't it? It's like with friends like this, who needs enemies? It's
Who
like that.
needs an enemy, Zeus? It don't matter how bad Trump does. It doesn't matter what he says that sounds stupid. It doesn't matter how stupid he looks. His supporters still stand 10 toes down and never have
Right,
anything
Valerie.
negative to say. And that's how we should be.
Yeah. Especially because Biden is on the right side, right? He's on the right
Correct.
side. We should have no problem supporting him.
Correct. Why are we tearing down the person we're supposed to be supporting?
Let's go, Takesha. Let them know.
They make me sick. It really does something to my stomach. We gotta do better. And you're Ryan talking about I'm scared now. It just looks like he's not. Debates do not vote. People vote.
Amen.
That didn't change my mind. And contrary to what it looks like, it didn't change a lot of people's minds either.
Amen.
Those selective few that are now talking about they don't know, they didn't know then. They didn't know before the debate, and that's why they don't know after the debate. Because if you're rested and assured in the person you're supporting, guess what? You're still thinking about how great they have made things, how the progress that they made. That talking and
G-Man.
him being tired, that didn't change
Thank you,
your vote.
G-Man.
If you're
Yes.
shaky now, you were shaky back then.
G-Man. Right. Right. What do you say though, Takesha? These folks are out here. The way that I see it is, honestly, this age thing with President Biden, it's been brewing for a while. And I think from the way it looks to me, they were just waiting for an opportunity to bring it back up. And this debate gave them that opportunity, right? They were out here saying, we're with Biden. But then this thing was like, oh, this might be our window to bring in a third party person or get a better candidate. That's what it's looking like to me.
Zeus, it's too late to complain and try to get a third candidate.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother got old. She was the matriarch of the family.
Yeah.
When she started getting old and forgetful, we didn't push her out the family and say, "Hey, you're not good enough anymore, Grandma.
Right.
Go somewhere and sit down." We didn't do that
Absolutely.
because she was the matriarch of the family. She the one that held the grandmama's whole family's together.
Tell him, Takesha, tell him.
You don't kick grandma out the family when she is the glue. We're not gonna kick Biden out when he's the glue. Do we agree with everything he does? No. Do we think he's this God Almighty? No. That's Trump supporters. That's what they do on that side. But what we're not gonna do is we're gonna support our candidate.
Amen.
We stood with him when we first put him in, and we're gonna keep on standing.
Thank you.
So we got to do better. The
Amen.
Democratic leaders that keep getting in public with the foolishness, they got to shut up. keep their opinion to themselves or take it straight to the president, and don't be out here. Thank you for the gifts. Don't be out here saying negative things and making our president look like we don't support him. We got to find a way to let him know we still backing him.
Amen.
Because he thinks we're turning on him, and
yeah.
we're not. We're
Yeah.
not, Zeus.
Nope. No, we ain't. We sure
I
ain't.
would vote for a dead fly with one eye before I vote for Donald Trump.
Me too. You know it is exactly that, Takesha. And that's why we got to keep up the great work we're doing and keep getting the truth out there to the American people. It really is that serious, all right?
Is that serious? We in crunch time. We don't have time to be falling by the wayside. We got to stand 10 toes down with the person we've been supporting, and we can't waver.
Amen.
We'll worry about the other stuff once we get him in now. We just want him in now.
Amen. All righty.
But that's what I wanted to say, Zeus.
All right. Well, thank
You
you.
have a
Takesha.
great day, because now Jordan starts singing, and you know she'll jump on
All
and
right.
interrupt the whole show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give the beautiful Takesha a round of applause. No lies detected. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it's a show of force out here. Listen up, MAGA. Your days are numbered. Seriously. If anything, people are more enthusiastic and excited about making sure Biden gets reelected. No one here in their right mind wants to do another 4 years with Donald Trump and his deranged supporters who get out here on TikTok and lie day in and day out. Look at, speaking of liars, all right, look at this right here. Okay, Snuggles, what do you want? Seriously.
I gotta tell you,
You come into my live every day begging to get in the box. I don't
absolutely,
get it. I don't get it.
I'm just wondering.
What do you get out of this? What do you get out of it?
I'm just wondering why you're all angry because Trump's in the lead. I don't know why you're so mad and making fun of us Republicans, calling us MAGA people. Are we up here calling you names? No, you know, the people who call people names are the people that are losing. I'm just coming up here with great respect. All right, you're a mega demon. You're losers. You're racist. We don't even mention racist things. The only people that mention racist things are the Democrats. You're race baiters.
Wow. So you're just gonna wait a second. So you're just gonna get up here and just start lying. You're just gonna get up here and start lying.
Your party's a mess. You guys lost the debate. You lost, period.
Can I ask you a quick question, real quick? Okay,
What's
and
up?
be honest. Who lied the most during the debate?
Who lied the most? Biden.
Okay, see that right there.
There you go. Here we go. Democrats, get those deep.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get deranged Snuggles out of here. Snuggle, I don't.
Struggle pancakes, struggle honey buns, struggle in the way. Yeah, he's a struggler.
He still doesn't get it. All right, thank you, Athena. Wow, nice to see you. He still doesn't get it. Snuggles, Donald Trump lied over 30 times, bro. And for you to get on my platform and try to act like that didn't happen, that's a disgrace. You're a disgrace. I'm telling you, sir. You need to go get back in the basement. I'm just not even going to go. Get back in the basement, Snuggles. All right, seriously. All right, let me bring up my good friend Ange. Ange, how are you doing? Wow, oh wow.
I'm well. Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. These Trump supporters are doing quite the number, right? They're out here embarrassing themselves. I don't get it. Oh, who is that?
That is Hump Sum.
Oh.
Yep. That's that's just the guy that was just up here. Oh, thank you for the gifts. And he has been harassing me for 2 years. 2 years. Yeah, he's nasty. He's been roasted by Good Trouble and all these people with millions of followers. And his main account, by the way, he bought his followers. You bought your followers. I was just, because he comes on my page to harass me, I just looked at his account. He bought those followers. They're bots. We're not stupid. I can tell. So, and yeah, he's just disgusting, and he probably is reporting me. I'll burn down this mother. I'll burn down this account. I saw it. I
Oh
stopped.
my God! Don't let them
I will
get to you.
burn
All
down
right.
this account for no. This guy is the most disgusting person on this app. He is. I don't know how his videos stay up. He might as well just say I'm a racist. I'm a homophobe. I'm a misogynist. He's putting women down all the time. And you know that guy ain't getting laid. Anyway.
Yeah. He's an incel. They call them incels, right? You
Yes,
know, those
he's
people
got.
sitting at home doing God knows what when they're by themselves because they can't do anything with other people. I get it.
No,
It's the sick stuff they've gotten themselves into.
it really is. And I want to just address this real quick too. We got our fake Christians, we got our fake lawyers. Now we got some fake neurologists. Everybody's out there, they're diagnosing Biden with dementia and all
Yeah.
these other things. And he had an
He's joking.
aneurysm years ago. I mean, they're just so gosh dang it. Just stop. You're not a neurologist. I'm not either. But I'll share this. I got a concussion in 2006, and I
Right.
have seizures, partial complex seizures,
Oh,
and sometimes it gives me a stutter. And
got it.
he looked literally just like I do when they're exacerbated by stress or
Yeah.
being tired. And we all know he's very tired. He's traveling all over the world for
Yeah.
us. So you know what, he had a bad bravery, shut up. He had a bad night and you don't know why he did. You're not neurologists. Okay, none of you are. You're not, and you're certainly not his. So just cut it out.
Tell him,
It's really
Ange.
disgusting. You're fake Christians, you're fake lawyers,
Tell him, Ange.
now you're fake neurologists. That's all I got. Thank you, Zeus.
All righty then, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to the beautiful Ange. No lies detected. All right, you see, MAGA. Despite your efforts to try to get us off of our game, we're actually on top of our game, right, Rick? Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And the end is near for a lot of you Trump supporters. I just wanted you to understand that, and I wanted you to understand that we are on to you. Okay, who do we got? Your Majesty. What brings you to the show? It's so funny. It's like you're all coming out of the wolf pack. You're separating from yourselves, and you're now coming to Big Zeus for the truth. Tom, what do you want?
I just have a question for Democrats. My question is this: replacing Joe Biden means that Trump wins?
Is that what you want? Is that
no?
question?
I'm asking a question because you say that replacing if Joe drops out, then people are going to vote for Trump. I'm looking at it as it looks like you guys are so bad as Democrats that you only have one person who can beat Biden. I mean, Trump.
Wow!
Because
Einstein.
hold on. You guys are so afraid of Biden dropping out because you think it's automatic Trump win. So that tells the Republicans that the Democrats have nobody else.
You thought of that yourself?
No, I'm listening to the morons on the Democrat side.
No. But
they're so afraid of Biden dropping out because it's going to be an automatic Trump win. So that tells everybody that the Democrats have nobody else.
Oh my God. That is some of the most impressive MAGA logic, Tom, that I've ever seen. Can I ask you a serious question? Does the same hold true for your party?
I want Trump to drop out.
But keep carrying it.
But I'm one person.
Oh, so you don't have a better option than Trump?
Oh, I think there's a lot of better options.
Well, why are they not there?
It's the same question I ask about Biden. That's why I'm not voting for Trump. That's why I'm not voting for Trump. I think they're both too old.
All right, Tom. Listen, I gotta move it on. I gotta ponder on that great question.
Well, no, you still haven't asked my.
I gotta think about it, Tom.
Hold on, I've been asking you a question in several lives.
Tom, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Tom what he deserves. Tom, that was an intense question, bro. You got me really spinning up here. Oh my gosh, but Tom, your question is so smart that we got to get back to it later, all right? Because only you can answer your question, Tom. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom is so confused that he doesn't understand that he's the only one that can answer the question, right? He doesn't get it. Tom, this is for you.
You MAGA demon!
Tom, you got to, I mean, listen, Donald Trump needs you on his campaign, sir. Those are questions right there that'll definitely help solidify the base. All right, let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I got to talk to my good friend G-Man. G-Man, good morning. How are you doing?
What's up? Let me turn the camera on so that the guy before me and Snuggie, not Snuggle, Snuggie.
Ooh.
This is directed to your Billy Bobs. They're here.
Go ahead.
First of all, Biden is an incumbent. That's why.
Yeah.
And I'm independent. Believe it or not. I'm straight in the middle. I criticize both sides equally.
Yeah, you
but
do.
I'm more leaning more to the left. Hey,
yeah.
You know. So I always treat. But this is me. I have empathy to other people that doesn't look like me. Now listen up. That the party you support, and it's straight up like the other guests. Said about you want to maintain white supremacy. Look at this chump from Heritage Foundation. This chump, this coward, this we call domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
Think we got to antibiotics left the left on it. You know, I'm gonna tell you this. I wear this. I'm proud to be a veteran, sworn to defend the United States Constitution. It doesn't freaking expired. It doesn't make it expired. You don't want no smoke. Don't assume the people to the left doesn't have no pew-pews and all that. You got a rude awakening. But this is motivate me with that guy, with that chunk, with that news thing. Motivate people to vote, man. Show up to vote. Even though here in Georgia they gave a misdemeanor for handing out snacks and drinks in the hot sun. Purge of votes. Easy to profile somebody like me to stay in Georgia, Texas, because they had a little accent of brown, and so on. This made me motivate me. And my passion right now.
Yeah, I hear it in your voice.
I'm tired of it. I don't even celebrate this so-called fourth no more, since you took it a half a population right to have to choose abortion and make that decision 4 years, the day before my birthday in that June. That ticks me off. I treat those like everybody. Where you take away other people's rights, soon they can take other people's rights. I've been saying it about the GOP since the 80s. It's more and more leading to the right. They thought I was crazy. And I'm independent. I said, no. Since Reagan, we're really straight tricky thinking administration, Nixon, and so on to the fight. And I was right.
Yeah, you
but
were.
Now, and I told two Latinos, Mexican descent, in '86 about what Reagan had passed the amnesty bill. This is what I said, Zeus, for people that know me. I told them that Reagan wants your votes, it's really your motion. But look at what they did to your ancestors back in, especially the Southwest United States, during the Great Depression. What they did, G-Man? I mean, they didn't call me G-Man. I got my last name, government name.
Yeah.
I told, boot it out the country, regardless you speak U.S. citizen or not, because they will lower the population. Like they afraid to be overpopulation. They don't be surprised these gringos. I said back then. Now I call them Billy Bobs and Becky's.
Okay.
They don't want to be replaced. So this is not new to me.
Yep.
So we need to turn off the vote, man. Lean off the vote up. If they don't want some smoke, they don't want no smoke, man. Because I think the FBI need to look at him, think a domestic terrorist knock on his door while you're threatening against the United States. But I'm gonna let you go, Zeus. Keep the passion and keep the fight, man. I'm about to hit the. I gotta hit the gym.
You're about to hit the gym and get cooking, man. Keep up the good work.
I got to.
All right.
I got to. Keep the fight and passion, everybody. Stay safe and have a safe weekend. Watch your surroundings, because usually these nuts usually doing this holiday, this time of year.
I agree.
Be careful.
You know I keep it. I'm very safe, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up to G-Man. No lies detected. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is a show of force. All right. Even though we got these MAGA possessed individuals out here, they still are struggling. They're having a hard time coping with reality, and that's exactly what I want them to do. Attacking, good morning, my friend. Haven't heard from you in a few days. Hopefully it's all good, my brother. How are you doing, Attacking?
I'm doing good. Yesterday I played broadcasted twice, 2 hours worth of nothing but music. I just chilled yesterday.
Right.
I played rock and roll, played some jazz, soul, all that stuff, man. I just for 2 hours, two different
Nice.
times.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good. Clearing your
Um,
mind.
clearing the mind. I figured 4th of July, Trump's not on the nuclear button, so I figure it's a good day.
Right.
What I find is funny with toilet paper man, wet, stinky toilet paper man, is that he made a comment. When you have to call names, you're losing. Zeus, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Trump call names?
Absolutely.
Doesn't he call names every day to everybody?
Yep. That's why he
So,
got sued by E. Jean Carroll.
yeah, so either toilet paper man is just freaking dumb, blind, and deaf, or he's just got his head up his own butt so far he can't hear anything because his shit is filling his ears.
Oh, look at that. I caught that attacking. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
I know I deserve it, and I said it specifically. When Tom says we've only got Joe Biden, well, it's kind of funny with the big field that the Republicans had. How come they only had Trump?
That's what I was trying to get Tom to understand, but I think it went over his head because he's so intelligent in his world. You know how he is.
Well, the blood can't get to his brain because he wears his tank top so tight. I have a feeling that he wears, those Brazilian male G-strings for men. That confine the breathing.
Wow.
And when it comes to ethics and morals, Snuggles, you're one of the biggest pigs on the planet. Because you toss out your ethics and morals for a guy who blows smoke up your fat ass.
Oh my gosh!
Give me another one. Give me another one. Give me another one.
Gloves are off attacking. Oh my gosh!
Give me another one.
You?
Because he doesn't care that Donald Trump raped a woman. He doesn't care. He said, "Oh, it's a civil case. It doesn't matter." You know what, Snuggles? Do me a favor. Tell us why you got divorced. Did you cheat on your wife?
Oh, attacking.
No, I'm sorry. No. I want to know, Snuggles. Did you cheat on your wife? Because if you're such a good man,
Lord have
why
mercy.
are you divorced?
Oh,
see,
Lord.
I know why I'm divorced, Snuggles. Do you want to know why I'm divorced? Because I was a good husband thinking that my wife should stay and work and I should be working to support my family. I worked 12, 14 hours a day to be successful. So I wasn't there. I created the separation because I was never home. I take full responsibility and I have regrets, but I grew up in the time where the husband worked and the wife stayed home. Even though my wife worked, I still had that. So I knew what I did. Snuggles, did you cheat on your wife if you're such a good man? Or was it the fact that you just couldn't get it up anymore and please her?
Lord.
Did she find somebody new?
I'm not the love guru at the moment attacking, but perhaps I would be able to facilitate a discussion.
I forgot. I'm so old. I went back to that time.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. If I were doing love guru work, we could definitely have an honest conversation. But if I were to take a guess, I would say it may have had something to do with his support for Donald Trump.
And by the way, Snuggles, call me names because what I just said to you shouldn't upset you if you're mentally you have the mental capacity to understand I'm just effing with you.
Oh, so you're taking it back.
I'm just messing with your brain. See, words on this app have no meaning to anybody. There's no emotional connection. So you can say anything about me. By the way, did you know that somebody came up in my broadcast the other day and he started out, he goes, "Hi, darling. How you doing?" I go, "What?" He goes, "Hey, baby, haven't seen you for a while." And I go, "What?" He goes, "I thought we were going out for coffee." Right. I said, "Oh, I just blew it off." So I had some guy trying to twist me with being affectionate towards me in my broadcast.
Wow. Listen, attacking. I don't know. Listen, that is quite the story that you got going on, all right, brother? But listen, I got to move it on, all right?
Hey, I love you. Everybody be good. Everybody be safe. And by the way, really, we need to stop talking about this subject. Stop talking about Joe Biden and the bad debate day. Let's just promote the good stuff. I'm sorry. That's what I think. Everybody be good. Everybody be safe.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give Attacking a round of applause. Absent of the attacks on Snuggle, there were no lies detected. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, we got to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what's going on. All right, Shay, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's
How are
everybody?
you? We are all right.
Good.
How about you?
Well, I am hopeful because what happened in the UK in their elections yesterday
Yeah.
was a resounding slam against the Conservative Party.
That was. I saw.
I was wow. And the Conservatives had held power for 14 years, but they had ridiculous people like Boris and then, Rishi Sunak and that woman that lasted all of a few days. And it's fascinating because the polling at the time was not reflective of this landslide. So now the exit polling, which is after people vote, that's what exit polling is, did reflect why they went this way. Now, the Labor Party is not like a far left kind of thing. They tend to be more middle, lean, sort of right. They tend to be more of a moderate party. But what was interesting is to see they got over 450 seats of the 650 seats in the parliament.
Wow.
That's huge. The Conservatives only held 121. So this was a resounding answer in a European nation against the rise of nationalism.
Tell them, Shay. Tell them.
If anybody knows what nationalism really did, it was one of the primary causes of World War I. People absolutely that's what happened, and people let down their game. And when you self-center way too much and drive that narrative, it absolutely can be dangerous to you on the world stage, not only politically but also economically.
Exactly.
And so people are answering against this, and it's going to be interesting to watch how France reacts against Le Pen, Marie Le Pen. So that's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on it, Americans, because this is absolutely what most people are seeing, and it's scaring the heck out of them. I think we're going to have almost that resounding answer back to the Conservative Party as well.
We can only hope and pray, and that's why it's very important for us to keep having these tough conversations and exposing these MAGA demons the way that we do. People got to see that these are the people that are trying to take over the country and resist it.
Absolutely. And so keep an eye on that. And I agree with the talking. And so many of us, we don't need to talk. Debates don't set the tone for an election, guys. Stop it. Just stop. As a political person, political analyst most of my life, that it doesn't set the tone. It really doesn't. Because in the end, we've got to talk about what Joe has done and what his capabilities are. And that's why, Tiny Tank Top Tom, we don't get rid of Joe Biden, because he's proven to us what he can do in this country. And he's an amazing guy. He's a good guy. And we never would want to hand over now the presidential immunity to a whack job. That is something. We're not doing that.
Tell them, Shay. Tell them.
Wake up. Okay. Love you guys in the kingdom. Hope you're See you later. Ooh, that was perfect timing.
Perfect timing, right? All right. Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to the beautiful Shay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, I have to land my plane and go on and tend to other affairs in the kingdom. But you know what? Before we get out of here, you know what we got to do. You all deserve a round of applause. For the most part, the show stayed on the rails, all right? There were a couple of moments where it could have went interesting, but I held back and I was restrained, and I said, you know what? It's not worth throwing the live away to address that, all right? So, good job. I want to give a round of applause to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. You helped make this show exciting, engaging, and entertaining, all right? But you know what we got to do? We got to give one last round of booze and shame. We got to give this booze and shames out to the tiny tank top. These are I call them Zeus haters, right? You know who they are, Tiny Tank Top Tom, Tim, whatever you want to call yourself, Snuggles, all right? The deranged folks out here on TikTok, fake TikTok hosts included, right? Fake legal gurus, fake neurologists, right? They get out here and they spread misinformation and disinformation on behalf of Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin. They promote evil bigotry, racism, misogyny, hatred, xenophobia, I mean all forms of crime and criminality and corruption on behalf of their cult leader, Donald J. Trump. And Kimmy, you know exactly what I am talking about, right? These folks are the worst of the worst and the scum of the earth. Let's give them our final round of booze and shame. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, take care and stay safe. Enjoy your weekend, and you know, take care of yourselves. All right, really, and stay safe out here in these TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do.
True Clovis, the most handsome in the kingdom.
Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, that dark icy lady. Thank you.
This is how I move when I'm walking like Zeus. This is how I sound when I'm talking like Zeus.
Cold as the day.
Stare when I'm looking like Zeus. I like to act a fool when I'm moving like Zeus. Don't be playing with
keep up the good work, brother.
Like Zeus. You thinking that you're cool till I pull up like Zeus.
Thunder in the sky, light you up like Zeus.
I make my own rules. I'm a god, call me Zeus. I'm
Big E classified, you're right.
Took a long time to get here.
Y'all take care out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Like a bum, get away from me.
Uh-oh, we're about to hit the goal.
Leave it up to you. I can't hang around with you.
Thank you, everyone. Zena Smith, wow, you're here.
This is way above dead.
Cold as the day.
Playing with the dead. Time to let loose with the truth.
Yeah, grab your goose.
Hey, little mama, let me play with your caboose.
Keep your children away from Tom. Wow, Tom, you see what happens?
I tried to be patient, but you had to.
Thank you, Rick C. I see Kim. Rick, I see Kim. Kim, you might got jungle fever. It looks like you might have jungle fever. All right, but it's all right. Let's go! Live goal of cheese. Like that. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, Queen Flea. Good morning. Nice to see you. You know you're always in here bright and early. Bama, you're right. Greetings, April. Good job, Ange. Keep up the good work. Mr. Dub. G-Man, I saw you out here, too. Keep lifting those weights, Miss Morning Star. I see ya. Hey, let's go, DJ Kitty Cat. Let's go.
Yeah, grab your goose. Hey, little mama, let me play with your caboose. I know the ladies love me cause I'm sweet like a tooth.
Hey, Mr. Incognito. I am informing them, Charles. Thank you. You know what I do. Tiffany for the people. Nice to see you. Oh my goodness. Retribution, really. That's why they call me Zeus. Where's Trash made at? Did we wear him out again? Thank you, man. Hey, Snuggles, go get my steaks, bro. Because you've been lying and you keep getting caught every day on this app. Right, Cold as the day.
Thunder in the sky, light you up like Zeus.
There he goes.
Own rules, I'm a god, call me Zeus.
I just want to find 11,000.
Joe Two Wolves. Thank you, Ange. You did the right thing. See, that'll get you a RICO case. Callie Love, nice to see ya. Tiffany for the people. Reggie, Lady Rima, and let's hit him with the Jack Smith remix.
He's deranged. Jack Smith. He's deranged. Jack Smith. He's deranged. Jack Smith. He's deranged. Jack Smith. He's deranged. Jack Smith.
He's deranged.
Jack Smith.
He's deranged.
Check
this. Here we go.
Donald Trump is indicted, and they take one charge and they turn it into 36 charges. And he's a big Trump hater. Openly, he's a Trump hater. And his wife is even more of a Trump hater.
All right, yeah. All right, now you know how this is gonna go. Tom, this is for you. You know, this is how Donald Trump got you feeling right now. All right, you know how he got his supporters right now thinking he's gonna win. This is how he sounds like.
We're gonna win so much. We're gonna win at every level. We're gonna win economically. We're gonna win with the economy. We're gonna win with military.
Right.
We're gonna win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're gonna win with every single facet. We're gonna win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
Wow.
Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Whatever that more is, think with your imagination. This man is nasty. This is some nasty winning he's talking about. But that's how he gets his supporters to believe that they're going to win. But then we all know what Donald Trump sounded like, right? This is how he sounded after all that winning.
76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country.
What?
We were getting ready to win this election. Right. Frankly, we did win this election.
I am laughing so much that his supporters really fell for that. Y'all are something else out there in MAGAville. Seriously. All right, let's drop the bomb.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
That's right, you ain't black. You ain't nothing but a modern day slave. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Take care and stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do out here in these TikTok